Good morning, everyone. Thank you so very much for returning. And let me begin by saying, for those of you who are returning, yesterday was a wow. Yesterday was an incredible wow. I just cannot believe it was so thought-provoking, in many respects quite cutting edge, and it elucidated both problems and solutions. We have never had a meeting such as that. Last night, I sat next to Mr. Monahan, who's not in the room right now, and I consider him the ultimate honest broker. All he did was ask questions of which I was forced to tell the truth. And at each question, he brought up some new aspect of our meeting yesterday and some insight that I had not seen. So I can comfortably tell you, everyone whom I have spoken to who has attended prior meetings believes yesterday's was special. The fabric of the meeting was different. The speakers brought insights that were incredibly strategic. And if that wasn't good enough, Anne, my co-host this morning, was really able to capture it at the end. I don't think I've ever heard a better description, which of course made me feel a little uncomfortable because I had to follow her. Good morning, John. I mentioned you earlier. Again, as I said about John, he will ask you a question, and his question only demands honesty and it be direct. And his evaluation of the meeting yesterday from the perspective of a lawyer who has been in and out of government and who knows the private sector very well mirrors what I've just told you. So again, thank you so very much. And with regard to today you're going to hear and see a lot of new insights, but everything that we heard yesterday has built towards that. When you hear about governments, when you hear about industry really putting themselves into a position, and again, there is inherently in what Anne does and what Niels is going to talk about a degree of vulnerability, because you're putting yourself in a corporate world where often P&L is discussed and how it is evaluated and in what terms it's evaluated are germane often or kept in the realm of science and health. So you're watching somebody who is now about to talk about straddling both, a foot in the healthcare industry, a foot in industry, and a foot in the culture of their respective companies. So, without further ado, this session, which is Public Leadership and Governance for PPPs in Urban Health, will begin with Niels Lund, Vice President, Health Advocacy, Novo Nordisk. It will focus on cities changing diabetes initiative and the role of stakeholder and corporate engagement in public-private partnerships. Our speakers will include Niels Lund, who I've just described, as well as Anne Aerts, who will talk some about the Novartis Foundation, but she's going to be involved in a lot today, so we're not going to hit her very hard initially, but we will get our pound of flesh. Trust me, we'll get our pound of flesh and intellectual acumen from her as the day goes on. And I will speak briefly as a private consultant who spent some time in the oil industry dealing with many of the things that are current, and I'll try to share some lessons learned. And we'll have a facilitated discussion. But again, Dr. Lund, I'd very much appreciate it if you come and share with us your experiences, sir. Thank you.